Why do you feel more alive after solving a difficult problem, but strangely empty after a long day of doing nothing? Think carefully. When people are asked about their most meaningful moments, they don't talk about watching television or going on random vacations. They talk about overcoming something. A cricketer remembers the match nobody expected him to win. An architect remembers facing his fear, speaking to doctors, handling pressure, and saving his mother's life. Not comfort, challenge. Now here's the paradox. Research shows that while people are working, they often feel more skillful, more focused, more creative, and more satisfied than during leisure. At work, about half the time, people are dealing with above-average challenges and using above-average skills. That's when flow happens. Flow occurs when the challenge is slightly higher than your current skill level. Not overwhelming, not boring, just enough to stretch you. In that state, attention becomes deep. Self-consciousness reduces. Time feels different. Skills expand. Flow literally produces growth. Now compare that to leisure. When people are reading casually, watching TV, going out without purpose, only a small percentage of those experiences fall into flow. More than half fall into what psychologists call apathy, low challenge, low skill use. And in apathy, people report feeling passive, weak, dull, and dissatisfied. Let that sink in. On the job, only a small portion of time falls into apathy. In leisure, more than half does. Yet, and this is the strange part, when asked, did you wish you were doing something else? People say yes more often at work than during leisure, even when work provides flow. So what's happening? Work often feels imposed. When you feel that your attention is being invested against your will, when your effort serves someone else's goals, it feels like your psychic energy is being wasted. It doesn't matter if the task is engaging. If it feels forced, it drains you. That's the deeper issue. It's not that work is unbearable. It's that people perceive it as a burden imposed from outside. Now, let's address common complaints. People say they dislike their jobs because there's no variety or challenge. They have conflict with bosses or coworkers. They're burned out, too much pressure, too little time for family, too little time to think. These are real problems. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Variety often depends on approach. The same job can be mechanical or developmental depending on whether you set personal challenges within it. Conflict often comes from ego. We create rigid expectations about how others should treat us. They have their own rigid expectations. Collision happens. A smarter strategy is aligning your goals with others, helping them succeed while you succeed. It's slower, but it works long-term. And stress? Stress is not purely objective. The same pressure that breaks one person becomes a welcome challenge to another. Stress exists largely in interpretation. Now let's talk about exhaustion. Many people claim they are too tired to engage deeply. But consider this. Farmers and laborers often work longer and harder hours than office workers. Yet they don't constantly wish to be somewhere else while working. The issue is not simply fatigue. It's relationship to the task. Now here's the second major problem. The waste of free time. Jobs are easier to enjoy than leisure because they come with built-in goals, feedback, and structure. Leisure is unstructured, and unstructured time requires effort to shape into something meaningful. Skill-based hobbies, sports, music, building, learning can create flow just like work does. But most people don't do that. Instead, we watch athletes instead of playing, listen to music instead of making it, watch actors' live adventures instead of taking risks ourselves. Passive entertainment does not produce growth. Flow does. Most systems around you, jobs, media, entertainment, are not designed to make you strong. They're designed to make money. If you don't consciously reclaim your attention, it gets used for someone else's goals. You cannot live in high challenge constantly. Recovery is necessary, but recovery is not the same as numbing yourself. Real rest restores sleep, reflection, skillful leisure, meaningful connection. Mindless consumption creates apathy, not renewal. So the real paradox isn't work versus leisure. It's this. We feel most alive when stretched, but we spend most of our time avoiding stretch. Work can build you. Leisure can build you. Or both can drain you. It depends on whether you approach them as conscious challenges or unconscious escapes. The real question is not, how can I escape effort? It's, how am I using my attention? Because attention invested in challenge creates growth. Attention wasted in apathy creates emptiness, and that difference shapes your entire life.